lovelies, I just thought I'd drop in just to let you know what my surprise was from last week. I'm going to Paris. Oh my goodness, you guys, I am so excited. As you know, my husband's been sick, and so what I decided to do was take my long service leave and we're going to Paris. And while we're there, we're actually going to zip across to Glasgow because that's where his family's from. So we're going to go and see those. And I've got another little surprise. It looks like I'm going to do a meetup with Liz from the channel Buttons for Brains. So it's going to be so exciting. So that will be awesome. Now, I know, and you know, that everybody journals in a different way, don't we? You know, some people can have the most beautiful illustrated journals, drawing things like the Eiffel Tower and the Louvre and all those sort of things, but I can't. I don't draw, so I have to find another way to do a travel journal that will still bring back my beautiful memories. So what am I going to do? Well, you know, there's the usual, isn't there? You can add your plane, train, bus stubs, that sort of thing. So I've got my own little business cards. I'll be taking those with me and handing those out. So I'm going to ask for other people's business cards. Perfect. Now, there is postage stamps. When you go into a place, they stamp you on your hand or on your wrist. When I was in Bali, they stamped my hand when I went into some places. So instead of them stamping your hand, ask to stamp your journal. Now, what do you write about in there? You know, what happens if you don't have all the ideas, you just go blank at the end of the day? You shouldn't really in Paris, I guess, but you just never know. So, you know, you could write like the temperature, you could write what you ate that day. You know, I hear Paris has the best hot chocolates in the world. I'm really looking forward to that. But yeah, those are the kinds of things you can write about. Now, my grandma kept diaries every day forever. This is one from 1987. And on January the 1st, what did she write? I'll tell you what she wrote. Every day was the temperature. She wrote it was 28.9 degrees. On holiday, she wrote where she was, what they ate for lunch. It was lovely and they're relaxed and they're lovely and having a lovely time on their holiday. So that there is my grandma's little travel diary, even though it was just a normal little diary that she took. But my grandma wrote these for years and years. Now, I've looked back through them and there's ones from the day I was born. She wrote what time I was born, you know, what color hair I had, her thoughts and how she felt about it. So they're all things I take inspiration from, you know, like my grandma was this beautiful person and she just kept these diaries that we can now look back on. And that is why I'm doing these vlogs or blogs or videos or whatever you want to call them on YouTube, so that my grandchildren and great-grandchildren will know who I was, because I've only got these physical diaries from my grandma. But yeah, I still love to take a travel journal with me everywhere I go. So I made one for Bali. If you didn't see that, go back and have a look, because there's loads of ideas of things that I added in there. There were coffee sleeves, there was places that I visited. I went to the batik factories and I added fabric. So all of those things are lovely ideas that you can use in a travel journal. So I'm going to make the travel journal today on the video and show you what I've got. I found the most supple, beautiful brown leather wallet, and it's a really old-fashioned one that people would have used for their passports back in the day, and ticket stubs and all that sort of thing. So a lot of things are getting done on apps now, but I still prefer a physical travel journal. So anyway, come with me in this video and we'll have a look at what I get done and how I make it and how I leave some pages so that they can obviously be added to and all that sort of thing, and how I added it and what I actually chose for my travel journal. So that's another interesting thing too. So let's get started. All right, so here it is. This is the wallet that I found at the thrift. Now, it's the most supple, soft brown leather, and it's just perfect. It was originally for, it's got landing tickets, baggage checks, passport, and then on this side it's got tickets, currency, and that it's made from leather in Canada. So it's got plenty of pockets. I just think it's going to be perfect. And what I decided to use was one of the old passports that I've got. Now this one belonged to my grandfather, and it actually expired in, I think it's 1980, yep, September 1980. The only thing it doesn't have in there is a passport photograph. I'm not sure why there's no passport photograph. I don't know. I just don't know why. But there isn't one in there. So makes it nice and easy for me to change over. And look at this, you guys. Look at all these beautiful stamps it's got in here. They're just fantastic. And his visa from when he came to Australia. Other, stamps from places that he visited. Now these are starting to become a thing of the past because everything is now done electronically when you move through passport control. But here he wrote down all the exchanges that he did for money, etc. So I thought that would be a perfect travel journal, and I'll have him with me when I go on my holidays. So this will go into here like that. And of course it closes easy, and it has loads and loads of room. I can press stud that, and it has loads of room for me to add things in there. So I'm thinking that's going to be a perfect cover. So let's now work on the journal, and we'll pop it in the cover lastly. All right, so what will I use inside the actual travel journal? So I want to keep a lot of this original markings in here. I think they're lovely. In a journal, we're always trying to add patina and age, aren't we? So things like this, it'd be silly to cover it up, in my opinion. So I'm going to leave them in there. And his name I'm going to leave in there. So if I add things, I'm going to use just masking tape or something else, so that, it makes it nice and easy. So what did I find to add in here? Well, like I said, there's postcards. So I already had these, and funnily enough, they are French. They've got the French stamps on them. These are from 1908. So these lovely old vintage postcards. I absolutely adore this one. Look, little girl. She's so sweet. This lady with her flowers. It's just very French. This lady in her lovely blue dress. And this here. So there's a few that I can use, which will be really, really nice. There was in Daphne's diary, of course, there's always loads of great illustrations. So that's actually got a euro coin. There's some old ticket stubs, another page with stamps. So what I've done is I've aged them, put them through the printer. I've got a great printer that does all these things. And then there was these, which I thought were really sweet and very French looking. They're sort of muted colours. I thought that would be nice. And then of course I've got my bucket list of places to go. Thrift stores, of course, are called vintage or fripperies. The Luxembourg Gardens, flea markets, that's my main one. I want to do the flea markets and find lots of old postcards and old, writing and things like that, documents. I read somewhere that you should only travel, even if you're going for a month, only travel or pack like you're going for 5 days. So I've got everything laid out on the bed, and I've done a quick little film of that. So yeah, that's basically all I'm taking. Now I know there's a very famous course that people have done on transforming a passport. I'm not claiming that I came up with this idea or anything like that. I'm just going to use my grandfather's old passport for the travel journal today. So let's get started and see what I do. Now, because this page here has this colour, I really like that, and I'm going to leave it, but I don't really want to open it up and see his name straight away, and nor do I want to cover it over. So what I'm thinking of doing is putting this beautiful postcard in here and just attaching it with a bit of masking tape. And then look, it flips up. So yeah, I've got the writing that was originally on the postcard there. And I've got the writing that was originally in my grandfather's passport, but now I'm kind of making it my own, which is really lovely. All right, so let's see what I add and how I add it and see what you think. And you can... And I want to leave pages blank so that I can add things to them. Now these here, I'm definitely not going to cover those over. I really like using old things like this. They really add to the look of it. But I also like to leave them so that I can flip them open, you know, so that they're not all going to get covered over. Yeah, so anyway, I'm going to keep moving through and I'll show you what I do. Let's have a look at how it's turned out. and you can tell me what you think. Okay, so I've done lots and lots of things off screen, otherwise I would have been here for hours and hours and hours showing you how to do everything. But basically with a travel journal you just want to be inspired, so that whatever base you're using, you now have added things to it so that when you open it up on holiday, it's fun. You want to add something to it, so let's have a little flick through. Okay, well, that's me all ready to go. So if you lasted this long, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I'll be away for nearly a month, so I'm not sure how often I'll be able to post because I don't have a laptop. So anyway, I'll try and put up some shorts when I'm out and about. You take care of yourself, and thank you so much. Bye-bye.
It's nothing new, but it's so good to see you. We do this every day, and I'm still so amazed by you.